Alright, y'all, so here's a new video. I don't really know what to talk about, so yeah, this is just gonna be another, I guess, unscripted video. So, yeah, like I have a list of topics, but a lot of them require so much research. Like, yeah, so let's just go with the easiest ones. So, and for number one, I was just looking at like what stuff there's to do for fun, under quarantine and stuff. People are starting to go out, like restrictions are starting to be lifted, and all the government and like financial people are like, oh yeah, go out, buy locally, all that stuff to like bolster the economy. But I'm pretty sure we just like officially entered a recession. So I don't know how much that's gonna help, especially when people barely have money to pay for rent and buy food. So I don't know how we're supposed to keep the economy going, but that's too bad. But for if you really do be having money right now and you want something to do, and you live in Ontario, one option is going to the movies. So I don't really know why you would be wanting to do that in COVID, but it's an option. So yeah, Cineplex just opened back up their theaters. I think about a week ago, week and a half, something like that. And they even reduced the prices of tickets down to $5 and to $2.99 on Tuesdays. So, I mean, again, don't know why you'd be going, but if you want COVID-19 directly injected into your veins, you can get that for cheap price of $5. Uh, they are claiming they're going to be using like enhanced cleaning protocols, sanitization, whatever. But let me just say, as like a retail worker, so many things are going to be like skipped over. Like I know that unless they have like some kind of, I don't know, spray machine, yeah, things are gonna go unnoticed. Like I don't even think they cleaned movie theaters before COVID, which is already nasty. But you know, do what you gotta do. And by clean, I don't just mean like sweeping a broom, using an occasional mop when like something spills. Like I mean proper scrubbing down and like using the proper kind of disinfectants, as in stuff that have been used for decades, if not centuries. Just regular soap and water should cut it, but I know a lot of companies have their own like made solution. So, but this is not a COVID related video, but I figured I'd just bring that up quickly because some people might be interested. So good luck to y'all. As for me, I'll be staying inside as much as possible. So instead, I'll be using streaming services, mainly Netflix, a bit of Hulu. We'll see. But Disney Plus, they are under fire again for their Mulan pricing. So I'm not sure if y'all are aware, but it's now going to be $30 if you want to see Mulan on Disney Plus. It's already been pushed back like 50,000 times. I don't even know at this point. So I think the last release date that they had planned for like actual theaters was August 21st, but they eventually decided, you know what, this is not going to work. So let's just put this on our streaming service. And now it's slated for December 4th, which is so disrespectful because that's Beyonce's birthday. And, she just put Black is King out on Disney Plus, and that was great. I mean, if you haven't watched it by now, go watch it. But I mean, who hasn't seen it? Well, anyone with taste. So, but yeah, back to Mulan. People are mad about the price, which is fair. I don't really know if there's any kind of precedent for other movies or other studios doing similar things during COVID, like putting a new release out for an additional price, because this $29.99 is in addition to the $7 membership fee, which is really stupid. I don't know why they didn't just do like a kind of credit model, kind of like Audible or something. If you subscribe, you like get a certain amount of credits. So if, say it's like 4 or 5 credits, So if you've been a subscriber for 5 months, you now get it for free or something like that. Like, obviously, it's a capitalist machine. They're trying to get as much money as possible, but $30 is egregious. So too bad. I think a few like big accounts even did Twitter polls, and like almost 100,000 people participated. Overwhelming majority said absolutely not happening. So I hope Disney can figure out what they're gonna do, but they'll be fine. Their market value has already started to recover. I'm pretty sure last year was like a historic amount of revenue that they've had, partially due to Disney Fox deal. Also, they had Endgame, which broke all the records. Their parks and resorts seem to be doing better than usual, so I really don't think they'll have any issue recouping the losses they'll be facing during COVID. So no idea why Mulan is $30. So Disney Plus is going to be a hard pass for me, or the occasional, show or whatever that comes out on Disney Plus. I'll just get one of my friend's passwords or something. So back to Netflix. I've watched like a bunch of stuff that's come out recently from that I mentioned on my last video, but there's always stuff being dumped and pulled on Netflix, hard to keep up. But one thing I did manage to catch, like as soon as it dropped, was Umbrella Academy. We'll be doing a like separate review on that later, probably with like some other reviews, but that's for another time, another video. Don't want to focus on that right now. Something I've been like putting off, however, is Selling Sunsets season 2. So I watched the first season. I don't remember exactly, but I think early 2019. I don't even remember how I came across it. I think when my friends just mentioned it and I checked it out. I was also at the time watching other, I guess, reality TV type of shows on Netflix. So like a lot of cooking competitions and Terrace House. So I was already kind of like primed for Selling Sunset, and I've seen like classic VH1 shows, MTV reality TV. So I was like, okay, I'll check this out. But first season was a mess. I'm not even gonna really get into that. So fast forward to season 2. Season 3 just dropped a few days ago, and it's trending, I think, in Canada. So that's cool, I guess, for those people. But season 2. So one thing I remember before I even watched it was shortly after I finished season 1, there were like reports coming out, or I don't remember if there were reports or rumors at first, but yeah, some like news outlets were saying that Justin Hartley and Chriselle, I don't know what her last name is now, but that they had broken up. And this was before season 2 had even dropped, because it just came out earlier this year. So I was like, hopefully they get into the drama this season, at the time that being season 2. But I guess the way film production, all that works, they had already filmed everything before the actual real life stuff happened. So I'm not actually sure how fast reality TV can be like produced, but I know it's like a faster turnaround time than other TV shows and obviously movies. But yeah, season 2, quality content, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I'll get into a bit of spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, I guess don't watch. I mean, don't listen. But yeah, go watch. It's pretty funny, especially for like a in the background type show. I wouldn't say it's something you need to be actually focused on. But yeah, I did a bit of messaging in like one of my group chats, just like live commentary. So I'll just quickly like scroll through and see if there's any notable stuff that I feel like commenting on here. So yeah, the fact that season 2 all throughout it, Chriselle like oftentimes uses Justin as like oh yeah, like I hate work, but at least I have somewhere great to go home to type of like solace. So I don't really know what happened between them. Honestly, don't really care, but I guess they're gonna go into it in season three, which I'm planning on watching probably tomorrow. But yeah, I binged all of season two in like one day. It's only 8 episodes. Each episode's like 30 minutes, so like 4 hours of my life gone to this. But yeah, so so that whole Chriselle thing will be interesting next season. From the previews, it seems like they're kind of like framing Justin as the aggressor, or that Chriselle's a victim in this somehow. But you know what? I'll hold off on my opinions on that until season three show. What else happened? Christine and Chriselle's back and forth nonsense. I feel like that was like so overplayed. Like, I don't know if for like when Christine invited Chriselle to her engagement thing or whatever. I understand where Chriselle was coming from in terms of like her wanting to be not wanting to be disingenuous and all that, but some things I feel like you kind of just have to, okay, not necessarily accept, but it's like such a close knit, small office environment. I don't know why you wouldn't just like go and avoid her, even though I know in these kind of shows, producers are like edging people on to like create conflict. They're supplying alcohol, even though that's not as true for these situations because these people have enough money to buy their own alcohol. But I know that's definitely true in other shows, so who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But continuing with Christine, like her new man or whatever, and then the conflict that happens with Mary. I don't know why Christine decided to focus on that one word overlap so hard, but okay. And I don't know why Mary didn't clarify by overlap she meant that they were clients, but I then did some research, and by research I mean like a 2 second Google search, and apparently this storyline was fake. That apparently Christine and her man were already dating months before he showed up on the show and pretended to be a client, that they had already been dating and then decided to buy a house together. Though dating for 3 months and then buying a house seems that that's not for me. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I mean, if you have a $20 million net worth, then I suppose buying a $5 million house with your girlfriend of 3 months who's a realtor, then cool, whatever. Oh, by the way, I did the BuzzFeed quiz of which Selling Sunset realtor are you. Unfortunately, I got Mary. I feel like that is slander, and I will be notifying my lawyers. But I guess you can do that quiz. I don't find BuzzFeed quizzes to be that accurate, so I don't. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I don't actually care, but there's that you can do too. But whatever. If I actually had to be one of the realtors, it'd be one of the twins. I'm not even sure which one, but apparently one of them has like a $50 million net worth because they're a broker. So I mean, they have to have money. But yeah. Speaking of money, I don't remember if it was Brett or Jason, but whichever one was the current like highest property seller, which was around like 40 million. They're giving Davina her time, which that girl, I already have so many issues with her, but I'll get into that later. But Davina seems to be a fed. Like, I think she's a plant by the producers. So many things about her make no sense. I don't remember exactly when she shows up in season one, but it's kind of like out of nowhere. Like, they have like a few episodes of like the main crew, and then she just shows up one episode and people just like accept her into the team as though she had always been there, but she wasn't. Anyway, so this a big like subplot for this season is Davina trying to sell this $80 million, then reduce to $75 million listing. And yeah, that's why her, and I think it's Jason, because I'm pretty sure Jason's the president, um, of the Oppenheim group or whatever they're called, and it's just like going back and forth between those two and like how much it should be going for. And then the guy who owns the building has like I feel like he's an actor too, but who knows, man. Um, he has like a like Eastern European accent, and he just like the way he speaks is like 80s villain anecdotes. Like I don't remember exact lines, but he said stuff like, "Oh yeah, that's price not gonna work for me, baby." It's just like, how are you talking to people like this? But I should look up if this guy is like actually legit, because apparently his company like does that regularly. Like they buy lavish luxury homes, and they like renovate them even more. So I don't know. It's probably like a real company. I don't know if that guy though is the actual like president, and if so, he seems to be quite eccentric. But I mean, most rich people are. So back to Davina though. How in the world did she get this $80 million listing? And yet, Jason and Brett, who have been going at this for however long, I think they're like 43. Don't know when they started. Don't really care. But like, let's just even assume 10, 15 years of doing this. How in the world have they not gotten anything, even like 60 million at this point? Yeah, Davina gets like this $80 million listing just dropped in her lap. She is a Fed. You can't change my mind. And if she's not a Fed, then she's like an actual realtor that has significant producer backing. I have no idea why they decided to just like use her as like, I don't know, a chess piece to just knock down all the pawns in the story. But other people who have been used as a pawn, in my opinion, Romain. So Mary's French fiance. I didn't really like him from season one. Season two, still not a fan, but his whole thing of like being offended by Davina is like really weird, because I don't know. Again, with like the whole small work office environment, I don't know why they wouldn't just try to make amends, make things work, you know. But not my problem. And also Mary's kind of weird. Like, why would you invite someone to your bachelorette party and then not to the actual wedding? Kind of sending mixed signals, but they can do what they want to do. I'm sure a lot of it is. I don't even know if that was Mary's idea. Probably another producer idea. And even like the quote unquote second bachelorette party thing, like, oh, I forgot the newcomer. So Amanza, she I haven't figured out exactly what her role is, but for the most part they're trying to position her as like Mary's day one bestie, which is hilarious because in the first season they really tried to put like Mary and Christine together as like really good friends, yet somehow within the course of like a few months over this season we see like their friendship completely crumble, which is, I mean, I'm sure that's like realistic in terms of it happening with other people, but they were so strongly emphasizing how close they were in the first season, and yet it took like one little squabble for them to be like not even talking to each other. So that's weird, but whatever. Oh yeah, that whole plot line of Davina being uninvited unofficially by Romaine, and then Christine going in and telling her first. That was just so that like honestly so much of this is like high school nonsense. But it's entertaining, so I'm not gonna comment on it any further. Heather is honestly just Gretchen from Mean Girls. She seems like an airhead. She doesn't really have much of an opinion on things other than just parroting what Christine says, except for the one time that Amanda was like giving her advice about how to be, I guess, a new person in kids' lives, and she like took so much offense to it. So I think that in and of itself is kind of indicative of how mature she is as a person. So gonna leave that there. Everyone in this show is pretty much like annoying to some extent, with Davina being like the top, and then I think the least annoying is probably Maya. She's just kind of like the Israeli person with bad jokes, and honestly, her even though her jokes are dad jokes, for some reason when she says them, I don't know if it's the accent or what, but they're actually funny just because she thought they were funny, and everyone obviously thinks they're not funny. Or like her like any kind of idioms and stuff she doesn't immediately understand. That's always like something that's for a quick chuckle, but I also feel like that's played up too. So it's reality TV. All of it is fake, but I'm looking forward to season 3. Chriselle and Justin's breakup will be a big part of that. This wedding coming up with what's her name, Christine, and her so-called millionaire husband. Okay, he probably is a millionaire. I won't hate on him. Other stuff, Mary and Romaine living married life. Okay. Maya being pregnant again. Honestly, she couldn't think of anything. Okay, I'm not gonna say she got pregnant on purpose for this show, but she kind of feels like a forced character at this point, because she's like in Miami half the time, and she's doing like development stuff. It's almost like a sideshow like a spin-off show could be done with Maya. It'd be like selling what's in Miami, selling beach houses. I don't know. So that'd be my idea. Let's do a spin-off with Maya. That'd honestly be a lot less chaotic, but probably less entertaining as well. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Next video coming up, I'm hoping to do reviews, as I mentioned, on Umbrella Academy Season 2. I don't really want to do a Black is King review, like, specifically, because that's, like, a lot. Also, I'm late, like, quite a bit late. Yeah, that's not really my bag, but there are plenty of other reviews you can watch, so I don't need to do one myself. I also wanted to do a video on... You know what? I'll just let it be a surprise. So, yeah, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that garbage that us YouTubers have to say, even though I know I get like 10 views. What? You have to start somewhere, huh? And that's it. Bye. Did you kill the raid? Hey, I was so proud.
Fire! Catching up.
GG.
You are the Apex Champions.